Okay, so this is a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek episode. It's a departure from what I usually do. I'm not doing it for views, obviously, and it's just something fun to do. And I'd like to share my food stuff with you, my food lifestyle videos with you, and my nutrition, my choices, and everyone's dietary habits are different, and every diet has to be suited to the person. Depending on our backgrounds, our gender, our ages, and I'm going to do a full eat in a day based upon what I would be eating typically if I was going to do a um, three meals a day eating. So and my thumbnail is tongue in cheek. I often see people saying, "Eat this to lose 35 pounds. Eat this to get a bikini body. Eat this to look like this." At the end of the day, it's not as simple as eating. It depends on so many things to get a certain type of body. And another thing I want to share with you is that I absolutely find it very difficult and increasingly more difficult to go grocery shopping. And the prices, oh my goodness, so expensive. Anyway, for a typical breakfast, always, always on my list is yogurt. In fact, I like anything white and creamy with fruit, and I love granola as well. So typically, any morning on any given day of the week, whether it be spring, summer, autumn, winter, I'm gonna have some yogurt, and I just love yogurt, and I love it with fruit and granola. I also love cream cheese, and I also love ricotta cheese. Mix that with some sugar, have some berries. I'm a big, big yogurt eater though. Like yogurt is my life. I wouldn't be able to, I don't think that I would feel good without eating yogurt. And I love fruits as well. If I wanted something more substantial, I would have something eggy, perhaps a shakshuka, which is poached eggs in a tomato chili sauce with some bread and some croutons. Absolutely delicious. Will keep me full for a good portion of the day. And if I wanted something a little bit lighter, but still more substantial than just yogurt, I would have an omelette. And I have all types of omelettes: ham and cheese, French omelette with just cheese in and maybe some bacon and butter. And then there's a fluffy type of omelette that I like to have, an Eastern type of omelette. It's like a big, fluffy, puffy souffle type of omelette, which is really, really nice. So typically, my breakfasts are quite light but filling enough to get me to lunchtime. And another thing is, it's been a very long time since I've had a full English breakfast. I think a full English breakfast is probably the best breakfast in the world, but it's not something that I would typically want to have the first thing I get up. I would more want to have that in the very late morning, like around 11:30, going into lunchtime. I think a full English breakfast is wonderful, but it's just very heavy, so I typically wouldn't eat that. But I think a foolish English breakfast is one of the best breakfasts in the world. I will admit that I'm not feeling great today, but a typical lunch for me, or an ideal lunch for me, would be a salad or a soup, or a salad accompanied by some kind of protein. So a steak, a piece of salmon or sea bass, lamb chops, chicken, duck, something like that. So because this is an Easter special, there's nothing more than I would love for lunch, than lamb chops. And lamb chops is something that I have over the Easter, and I actually prefer them on the grill now. And my basic marinade would be, and particularly if I was going to put them on a grill, would be some salt, some light soy sauce, some red wine vinegar or lemon, cumin, garlic paste, pepper to taste, oregano. And I would marinate for at least an hour before putting them on a nice grill, barbecue. Delicious, delicious. Failing that, put them in the oven on a sheet pan, um, oven cook them. They'll be delicious. Finish off with a pat of butter. I would do that with a steak as well. I used to have a sheet pan steak a lot. And accompanying that, perfect, those perfect lamb chops, a perfect ideal accompaniment would be a salad. I love my salads, and I have a salad at least 3 or 4 times a week minimum. And my chickpea salad is just perfect for this. Chickpeas, cucumbers, tomatoes chopped, a simple dressing of lemon, olive oil, and a little bit of red wine vinegar, and maybe some parsley, some herbs, and some dill. That would be an ideal lunch for spring, summer. For dinner, I really like to have some protein with some rice. But, my lunches and my dinners are very, very much interchangeable. But because it's Easter, what we Jamaicans love to have is curry goat, which is basically like a curried lamb or mutton dish. Goat's tougher than lamb, so it takes longer to cook, but that's why it's so delicious. You cook it for hours till it's nice and tender, lovely, lovely curry flavor with some rice. That would be an ideal dinner, and I'll be having that. I'll be having that for lunch and dinner during this time. And yeah, so that would be an ideal lunch day. Grocery shopping has increasingly become more difficult for me. I just don't like doing it, and I really have to push myself to do it. This week, it's so expensive as well. You buy a few items and you're already up, like £50. This week I bought vegetables, fruits. I always like to have things like chickpeas, cucumbers, tomatoes. I always have broccoli, some kind of protein, steak, salmon, sea bass, lamb chops, chicken. And because lamb is so expensive, I don't buy it that much. But around the Easter, I will be buying it. And things like that. And I'm always stocking my fridge stocking the fridge with a lot of yogurt and fruits. Love that.